1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
My goodness, was it hot. What a blistering afternoon at the Miller Electric Center. It's not a complaint. I never complain about the heat. But you hope it pays off for this football team. I mean, a scheduled practice for 12:30 today until 2:30, right around, I guess around 1:30 or so. They were forced to move inside to the Miller Electric Center because weather was in the area. The only thing that was disappointing about all of that is that the fans who were in attendance were sent home a little bit early. But, you know, if you're going to have weather, you got to get the people out of there. So the right move was made, and the final hour to 45 minutes, whatever it was, went inside today. But this is an important part of the process for Jacksonville. I mean, forever we talk about the heat, right? The humidity and how it favors the Jaguars and how they get the shade, particularly in the second half, and the away team stays with the heat. Well, it didn't work for squat a year ago. I mean, they lost to Kansas City. They lost to Houston, and then they begged their way out of here. Remember that? Oh, we got to get out of here. It was really the first of what was some very mysterious things that were said by the 2023 Jaguars. I mean, we got to get out of here after week 3. I mean, it's the earliest we got to get out of here that I think we have ever heard, perhaps ever, historically speaking, in the world of sports. Typically, we got to get out of here is when you're struggling in baseball and you're in the dog days of June and July, you're in the midst of a 12-game homestand, and you're 3-8, and you're getting ready to play that 12th game, and you're like, we got to get out of here. We got to go to the West Coast. Not after 3 games, 2 here in town, but they did. And then what did they do? They went on the road. They won everywhere. They won in London a couple of times. I think they won in Brazil. I think they won in Germany. And no matter where they went, they won. So they were right. It was the right comment. But it was just, really? Was that just said? That they had, when you got to get out of here, it's usually the fans are on you, the media's on you, your family's on you. I didn't think that was the case. They just didn't play well in those 2 home games. But they practice in it today. It's not going to be chilly when they open up in Miami in less than a month. That 1 o'clock start. And as we know, 4 playoff teams right out of the gate this year for the Jaguars. Probably the toughest part of their schedule. It's a team that's going to have to start fast and keep the foot on the pedal, if you will. All right, outside of that, thought it was a really good couple of nights and day for the Jaguars. All right, Saturday night, I came away more impressed than I thought I would. And what stood out to me more than anything is depth. This football team has depth almost at every position. And, you know, the 2 that we have cited where perhaps there's the lack thereof, rush end and safety. Well, they've added a couple of safeties the last couple of days, including the return of Deshaun Gibson, who will not be available until week 7. We're aware of that. Doug Peterson today, talking about injuries, actually came out and said that's right around the same time that Andrew Wingard is expected to be back. So I would expect them to put him on the injured reserve at some point, right? And I would also expect them to pull off Eric Armstead from the PUP list. Today, Doug Peterson really outspoken about him. It's not going to happen this week with Tampa coming in here Wednesday and Thursday, and you play them on Saturday. Probably it will before next Friday night's game, a week from Friday, against the Atlanta Falcons. And just the terminology on that, you got to pull them back as you announce the 27, or excuse me, I think it's August 27th. You got to pull back Eric Armstead when you go from 90 to 53 and pull him off the PUP and put him on the active roster. If not, he will be out for a minimum of 4 games. So they're certainly aware of the rules, whether it comes to injured reserve rules, the practice squad rules. In this situation, the only member of the football team right now who's been on the PUP, Jacksonville does a good job knowing and understanding what is going on rules-wise. But, yeah, I mean, depth at edge. Never thought I would come in here and the first defensive player that I'm going to mention, DJ Coleman. Couple of quarterback hits. I've watched a lot of practices with Dave Campo. He talks about him every time we're out there. He looks the part. He's a developmental player, an undrafted free agent who stayed on the practice squad a year ago. His body is fantastic. He looks like an edge. You just don't know if he can hold up. You don't know if he can play. He did some things the other night. Terrell Edmonds forced a couple of fumbles. And Miles Cole looked really good coming off the edge. How about the fourth quarter by Breeland Speaks? And again, going up against guys that are not going to be in the league in a couple of weeks. We all get that. We all understand that. But still, these are guys that played well. Ventrell Miller went out with an injury. I think that's kind of expected every time Ventrell Miller plays a football game. At one point, he's going to come out and he's nicked up. He is a tough guy, and he got back out there. You know, he's been battling with a hand. It was first, a tight hamstring for Ventrell Miller. Then it was a hand. Now it's a shoulder. He did return, but he had a pass breakup. He had 4 or 5 tackles. I was sat next to Campo during the game on Saturday. He did miss one open field tackle that is a little bit alarming. But I think outside of that, he did play very well. So I liked what Jacksonville did. And I actually asked this question to Doug Peterson after the game on Saturday night. It was the 4th play, and they had a hockey shift. They changed up 5 defensive players on one particular play, and Chad Muma came in. Travis Gibson came in. Mason Smith came in. The aforementioned DJ Coleman came in. Jeremiah Ledbetter came in. You look at the 7 plays that Patrick Mahomes and that first-team offense did for Kansas City. You had 5 substitutions on that very first drive. And I asked Doug Peterson, I said, I've never seen anything like this before. And he went on to talk about his time spent in Philadelphia and the 8-man rotation. Well, we get that. Okay, the defensive line is always going to rotate. But for the most part, you don't rotate at linebacker or in the secondary unless you get out of your base and you go to nickel or perhaps you go to dime. In the first quarter, they used 3 different nickel backs on Saturday night. They used several different linebackers. This is a good, this isn't a negative. This isn't a shot. This is a positive set of circumstances that this football team right now has. They believe that there's several guys that can be out there and can play. And Peterson went on to talk about keeping guys fresh and how important it is, particularly on third down. I've been doing this for a long, long period of time. And even though it was a preseason game, I can't ever remember the defensive substitutions in the first half, not the second half, where guys are coming in and playing that will not be part of the team in 2 weeks. But in the first half, with all of the changes that they made, and I think it's a good problem. Building some depth right now, this football team is, no question about that. That opening drive by Kansas City, a little alarming. Okay? Listen, the best player on the planet is Mahomes. He immediately did attack Buster Brown. It's announced that Tyson Campbell's not going to go, and bam, very first play. right to Buster. And Buster kind of got bailed out. I thought it was a drop by Rashee Rice. I think it's a ball that you have to catch. That's any wide receiver in the NFL. You know, it led to a 7-play. I think it was a 42-yard drive that resulted in a field goal. You know, Rice catches that. There's no telling what Kansas City actually does on their opening drive. So I wish I could come here and brag about the starting defense and say they were sensational against the best player on the planet. They were not. Mahomes was doing what he wanted. I was a little disappointed with Devin Lloyd. Looked to me like there was some uncertainty at the Mike linebacker position. Didn't fill a gap in one situation in which he certainly should have. What was it? I think it was just 2 carries by Pacheco that went for 16 yards. No, and that can't happen. Again, it's not the end of the world. I'm just telling you what I saw. You bail out on a drop and you give up a field goal. Sure, you're going to take that against the most productive offense in the NFL, against the defending Super Bowl champions, against the best player in the NFL, in Patrick Mahomes. But I told you my emphasis on this first game was going to be much more on defense than it was on the offense. I thought that first team defense, they have to get better, okay? Certainly there's a lot of depth there. That's encouraging, as I started with. But I think that is a situation where there's room for improvement. First team offense, I thought Trevor looked really comfortable. Maybe too comfortable when he took the sack. Should have gotten rid of the ball, but I thought they did a decent job pass protection on his 4 attempts. 5th attempt resulted in the sack. Rushing offense, same old, same old. I mean, soft and friendly. They can't run the ball, right? They can't run it with Travis Etienne. And I get it. 2/5 of the starters are out. No Ezra Cleveland, no Anton Harrison. Good news today, day 14. Actually, yeah, today was day 14 of the Jaguars. Both back today. Anton Harrison completely removed now from the concussion protocol. He was involved in individual drills. He was involved in team drills. Probably didn't get what they wanted today out of team drills because by then they moved inside. It was kind of a lighter practice, not as much teamwork. The 7-on-7 and 11-on-11 today was, for the most part, red zone, and it was way down the other side of the field compared to where the media had their accessibility. But running the ball is a problem, and that has to get fixed. I'm not going to put a nail in the coffin here for it because you are missing 2/5 or your starting offensive line, and I think that, without any question, comes into play. They did get much better as the game went on. I mean, Tank Bigsby, Dearness Johnson, their second, their third team, you know, when Beathard was in and when Mac Jones came in, they ran the ball better as the game went along. There's no question about that. Absolutely none. But I did think that, you know, right out of the gate, and I was one of those that was kind of like, you know what? Don't even run ETN. You know what he can do. He's in fantastic shape. All they talk about is lessening his load and giving more to Tank Bigsby. Don't even run him in the preseason. What did he get? 2 or 3 carries last night? Let me see. I can pull this up. 4 carries, 3 yards for Travis Etienne. So that has to get better. There's no other way to say it. Okay. I thought there was a lot of energy. I thought there was a lot of good things that we witnessed. Certainly the deep ball from Beathard to Brian Thomas Jr. is sensational. When you understand where this guy was after his first couple of practices, some tough drops, and they were, for the most part, red zone work only, and then all of a sudden there were questions, and then others would say, well, hold on now. The guy led college football last year, averaging 17.3 yards per reception. He can stretch defenses, and he can do it in between the 20s, or in this case now with the new kick rules, whatever it may be, inside the 30, all right, whatever. And Yes, the full arsenal. You can't judge him based on just early preseason red zone work. That was incredibly encouraging to see that. How about the improvement of Parker Washington? How well he played in 3 different phases on Saturday night. The 73-yard kick return, had a 12 or 13-yard punt return. He had a reception. Tank Bigsby, he's had another fantastic camp. The worst play Tank Bigsby's made all camp long was today. And, Trevor Lawrence, he can't always be Nolan Ryan. And he's got to get that. ETN probably catches that ball. Tank's been working on his hands, and he was so bad during OTAs, but he has improved drastically throughout training camp, where he's caught it all. I don't think I've seen him have a drop once training camp's gotten underway. He dropped one today, but it was a short pass by Trevor. Trevor can't throw it 100 miles per hour when your back is 20 feet away or 15 feet away. And that resulted today in a ball that went off his hands, popped up into the air, and ended up being an interception by Darnell Savage. And maybe that comes with maturity. Maybe that's a learning, process for Trevor today. You got to take a little bit off it with some of that shorter stuff. But I don't think anyone is going to argue that, Tank Bigsby did not look really good on Saturday night. So there's far more positives here than negatives. Okay? There's no doubt. And this is much better than I expected. I kind of envisioned them to struggle on offense because I thought they'd be vanilla. Now, they were aided by the 73-yard return by Parker Washington, and then I thought it'd be a lot of, they can't move the ball. Press Taylor's got to go. There's none of that today. I mean, it's a 26-13 win. Jacksonville does some good things with their first-team offense outside of the fact that they struggled to run the ball and Trevor took a sack. Outside of that, it was a successful night at the bank. So that's the best part of all of this for you as Jaguar fans. All right, we are going to be very busy here over the next couple of hours. I will tell you that opening comments are brought to you by Shmunez Vision. Family organization. They focus on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. All right. Along with Dr. Catherine Shmunez. It's generational there at Shmunez Vision. You're talking about 30 years plus in laser eye surgery experience. Just ask yourself this right now. How are the eyes? And if they're bothering you and you don't have 20/20, consider laser and eye surgery, what it could mean for you for the rest of your life. Never having to worry about contacts, never having to go and look for your readers. It's only one of several things that they offer. Why don't you check everything out? Go to Shmunez Vision online. Also go to Instagram, Shmunez Vision. Get all the testimonials. They are there for you to take a look at. That is Shmunez Vision. All right, plenty to do, as always, for you. The best way to get on in is the text line. That number is 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Just underway. It's Monday. This is Into the Night.
Hello, friends. This is Jim Nance of CBS Sports.
I'm Marvin Lewis.
This is Archie Manning, and you're listening to 1010XL.
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 92.5 FM.
Your Jaguars are back for another preseason matchup as we take on our neighbors to the west, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Meet us at the bank Saturday, August 17th for a 7:30 p.m. kickoff. This is your last chance to see the Jags before the regular season kicks off. So lock in your tickets today by calling 904-633-2000 or online at jaguars.com/tickets.
This is Chelsea with Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. Here's what people are saying about working with us.
Installers were professional, courteous, and efficient.
Great customer service. On time, explain the process,
and walked me through the installation. Amazing team.
Our experience with Renewal by Anderson was outstanding from the beginning to end.
Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit rbafla.com.
License number CGC 1527613.
Renewal by Anderson, custom windows and doors.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation. Light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to carlsondentalgroup.com. That's carlsondentalgroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Sports fans, JJ LaSalva here. When I need to send my bride flowers or a plant for birthdays or anniversaries, I always go with Kuhn Flowers. After all, they've been the leading florist in these parts for over 75 years. You can always rely on Kuhn Flowers.
Start your Sunday off with a cup of Joe and some sports medicine intel. This is Joe C. inviting you to join me and Dr. George Bari for Breaking Bones every Sunday morning at 7:30. And if you miss an episode, just look for Breaking Bones wherever you listen to podcasts.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball presented by FIS is home this week at 1-to-1 Financial Ballpark. The homestand kicks off tomorrow. Then it's 5-Star Good is Everywhere Wednesday, featuring the Furyk Foundation. The weekend starts with Coors Light Thirsty Thursday, and then a doubleheader on Fireworks Friday, presented by Boeing. Tickets start at just $5. DaxShrimp.com for tickets. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball. Affordable, family fun.
Hey sports fans, this is Hayes Carline from MyBookie. Are you ready for the ultimate college football season? Using MyBookie's sportsbook and casino platform, you can bet on every game and win anytime, anywhere, straight from your mobile device. No app needed. Just sign up at MyBookie.com and you're ready to rock. No matter who you're rooting for, there's no better way to experience the season than having action on the games. When you know your team well, it's an easy way to take advantage of props like team win totals or early picks for playoff contention. Last year, MyBookie had some of the best odds on the market for the Wolverines to win the championship, and Michigan bettors who backed their squad saw a 10% return on their wager. These type of bets highlight why it's worth it to lay an investment before the season begins. Lock your futures in now while you're waiting for the season to begin and use promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus up to $1,000 on that first deposit. That's promo code 1010XL to start the season with house money. Don't ever miss out on the action. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns, and here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
David Lane here again for Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. After several surgeries for age-old issues, mainly my back and shoulders, there's no doubt that Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is my sustaining resource for living pain-free. Take it from me, and I'm being really honest here, there's no better orthopedic facility here in Jacksonville.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, a very hot one today for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Back out there tomorrow, be in the morning on Tuesday, and then, of course, Wednesday and Thursday. The two best practices of the year. It'll be Tampa Bay rolling in, and that is going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun. Really looking forward to that. All right, we're going to play the interview here coming up in just about a minute with Breland Speaks. I do want to play that for you. But the most important part of Saturday night, they got out of there without injuries. And that is what you need more than anything. I mean, it was like a shoulder, and Evan Ingram was limited today. Tyson Campbell had rolled his ankle leading up to that first game and did not play. He was back out there today. Ezra Cleveland was back out there today. Anton Harrison was back out there today. Foye Oluokun with a tight hamstring. He didn't work today. But I just, that is so important. You notice it around the league. Even Hollywood Brown, who went down on that very first play, covered by Buster Brown, had to spend at least one night, perhaps two nights in the hospital here in Jacksonville. So you're losing a lot of players across the league, and that's good news for the Jaguars there. I'll tell you what else is good news for Jacksonville. They know the rules. Okay, with the heartache of this new kickoff rule, McCole Hardman didn't know the rules. Obviously, the officials didn't know the rules, but the Jaguars did. So they called the timeout, they reviewed it, and they ended up getting a 2-point safety when it was all said and done. You know, maybe if you make these officials full-time, they'll start to get things right. Instead of them being business owners and teachers and bankers and you know, sons of bankers, sons of lawyers, the Mona Lisas, the Mad Hatters. Great Elton John. You don't even know that, Dylan, do you? You're so young. You're like, what's he talking about? Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. No idea what you're talking about.
It's a classic, for crying out loud. The rich bragging about their Mona Lisas and the Mad Hatters, sons of bankers, sons of lawyers, turn around and say good morning into the night. That should be our theme song of Into the Night. But these officials don't even know the freaking rules, right? You know, the NFL can't afford to make them full-time employees because they continue to be bean counters, which is incredible. And look at the holdup. And it's fine for me. But I imagine some of you are sweating your ass off out watching this game, and you're like, another review. And this one comes because of this bogus gimmick of the new kickoff rule, and the officials don't even know what is going on in the very first preseason game. Incredible. All right, before we get to Breland Speaks, I do want to tell you that tonight's show brought to you by the good folks over at Miller Electric. Okay, with Miller Electric, it's pretty simple. Okay, one of the best working environments you'll find here in Jacksonville. They've been around for almost 100 years. Team that values your skills, will reward you for your hard work. Just go to Miller Careers. That's Miller Careers. It's an equal opportunity employer. Everywhere you go throughout the city, you see construction. What does that mean? Electrical work. It's never going to go away. Can you imagine everything that's going to happen in the years, in the decades with the building that's happening downtown? Miller Electric, they have their fingerprints all over it. Just go to Miller Careers for all of the details. All right, after practice today, I did catch up with a guy that was wearing number 67 on Saturday night. He was just signed on Wednesday, but he turned some heads in the fourth quarter. He is Breland Speaks, and I caught up with him after practice today. All right, here with Breland Speaks, and my goodness, it was a hot one out there today.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely was a welcome to Jacksonville moment for me today.
You were born and raised in Mississippi. You played at Ole Miss, but where did today rank heat-wise?
Number one, and number 1 through 10, because I thought I knew what heat was coming from Mississippi, living in Dallas. Jacksonville, hey, it ain't nothing close to them places. It's similar, but a whole lot different.
You spent a couple of minutes with the trainers, just overheated. Was that it?
Yeah, just threw up a little bit. Just trying to get acclimated. Yeah, pretty much that was the case.
Solid performance on Saturday night. Really creating havoc when it came to getting to the quarterback. Your thoughts on your first opportunity?
Really just wanted to pin my ears back. Just got signed last Wednesday, so I already knew, like, going in, pretty much, hey, learn as much as you can in these next couple of days. You're going to have a couple walkthroughs, and when you get your chance, hey, man, just do your job and try to get after the quarterback, show them what you can do.
You've been around this league for 6 or 7 years. You led the USFL in sacks in 2023, then the defensive MVP this past year in the UFL. Just everything you've gone through, and now another shot to, continue your dream playing in the National Football League.
Really just appreciative for the USFL and the UFL for even being in place to give me the opportunity to get back to the NFL. Prior years, guys either had to go to Arena League or had to go up to Canada, but it's good that we have this institution right here in the States that allows guys to get exposure so that if a team is looking or a team always trying to acquire talent, hey, this is a nice pool of guys. And then even bigger for the UFL, combining the two leagues. So it was just a real big thing for me.
Last one for you. I understand it's only been 4 to 5 days, but your early thoughts on just how active Ryan Nielsen is with you guys one-on-one during practice and his attack-based defense that you're now a part of.
Oh, he's one of the best. I can tell he coaches with intensity like nobody I've ever been around, man. He's passionate about what he does. He expects a lot from his players, but he also gives his players kudos, man. He just wants you to give it your all and give everything you can out there. And hey, at the end of the day, that's what he's looking for.
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Sir. Thank you.
So he's probably a long shot, right? He was just brought in on Wednesday. Breland speaks, 6'3", 285, but who knows? I mean, if he continues to play well, maybe there's a practice squad opportunity for him. And at some point during the season, he could be a part of things. He was born in Mississippi, went to high school in Jackson, Mississippi, stayed in state. I remember Florida State recruiting him. He was like, I think when he pulled out the 5 hats, Florida State was one of them. And he went to the Grove, and he had, a redshirt season, then 3 really good years, including a dominant redshirt junior season. He ended up going in the second round to the Chiefs. Pick number 46 overall in 2018. Spent a couple of seasons in Kansas City, and then the journey really took off. Mostly practice squads. Las Vegas, Dallas, the New York Giants, back to Dallas, Buffalo. Went to the Michigan Panthers in 2023 when they were in the USFL. All right, led the USFL in sacks, went back to San Francisco in 2023 on the practice squad, went to the Michigan Panthers this year in 2024, now in the UFL, got Defensive Player of the Year, and, of course, on Wednesday, signed with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So this guy's been all over the place. And can they get something out of him? Unfortunately for him, a lot of guys that are on that bubble really played well on Saturday night. Yasir Abdullah, who's cross-training. Right? He's working at outside linebacker, played some Sam. Did a nice job against the run, Yasir Abdullah. Also went after the quarterback, right? We talked about DJ Coleman, who really had a good performance on Saturday night. Miles Cole, a good performance on Saturday night. You know that you got the 3, Hines Allen, Walker, and Trevis Gibson. Those are your 3. But if they keep 4, they have to keep at least 4, right? I would think that that's it, and then everyone else goes to the practice squad, unless they believe, if Yasir Abdullah makes it, they think that maybe he can go both positions. I don't know if they feel that way about any guy on the defensive line, possibly a Tyler Lacey, probably not, more of an interior guy. But what are your numbers going to be when it's all said and done? Interior, defensive line, and edge. It feels like all of a sudden there's a massive battle going on for that number 4 spot as far as a pass rush edge. So anyway, thank you to Speaks. Breland Speaks. Appreciate spending a couple of minutes with him. That was after today's work. All right, when we come back, let's hear from Doug Peterson. Well, let's hear from you. All right, Doug Peterson, I'll let him take us through the injury situation that I briefly shared with you a moment ago. I also want you to hear from Doug today, because he had some other interesting things to say, okay, about the expectations with Tampa beginning on Wednesday. And absolutely no fighting in this joint practice. I happen to be one of those who believes it's going to be next to impossible by the end of Thursday for there not to be some sort of scrap. Now, there's a difference between a scrap and taking off your helmet and throwing it or swinging it at someone else. Who did that last week? Was it Moncrief who did that in Seattle to a teammate?
Yeah, I think Metcalf.
Metcalf, my bad. Moncrief got the 1-year show me deal. That guy ran routes at like half speed. Dante Moncrief. What a disaster, man. I could have beaten him off the line of scrimmage.
Colts legend.
That guy, I mean, typically in the NFL, there's pride, and that you very rarely hear that a guy's not going 110% until Moncrief became a Jaguar. He was part of the Julius Thomas. I got my money. Even though it was a 1-year show me year for Moncrief, Julius got his bag, and he's like, what do you expect me to go 100%? No, it's just not going to happen. Anyway, we'll come back. We'll do that with Doug Peterson. If you want to get involved, you can. 641-1010. That's the best way to get on in. Great to have you with us into the night on a Monday.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey, school's in session, and here's today's lesson. We have hundreds of certified vehicles to choose from, starting as low as $89.99. Plus, they come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile peace of mind warranty and free oil changes. That means you and your soon-to-be drivers will be protected. Plus, every purchase allows us to fund teachers' projects for the entire school year. Your next assignment, get to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. Deadline August 31st. We're here to wow you and our teachers.
Nick in here for Bout 9 Associates, where you'll find Jacksonville's most esteemed eye doctors at each of their locations. After being selected for one of the most competitive ophthalmology fellowships in the world, Dr. Frank Bowden is frequently called upon for his expert opinion. He is currently one of the few cornea and external disease specialists in the area and the founder of Bout 9. Visit Bout 9 Associates today and experience the difference. Bout 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
Integrity, persistence, and standing up for victims. It's what you want in a personal injury case and what my friend and lawyer Glenn Cohen brings to every case for over 40 years. Call Glenn at Barnes, Cohen & Sullivan.
The Money Pages brings you this week's Red Zone Featured Player of the Week. Number 32, Jaguars cornerback Tyson Campbell. Campbell played college ball for Georgia and was taken by the Jags in the second round of the 2021 draft. Pick up this week's Jags game program with a commemorative ticket of Tyson Campbell. Download the Money Pages app for weekly specials. Money Pages, official sponsor of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hon, what do you say we go to the supermarket today?
Again? Weren't we just there yesterday?
Well, yeah, but it's just so nice and cool in there.
Why don't we just get our air conditioning fixed?
Can we afford it?
We can with Duck Air Conditioning. They offer financing.
Oh, cool.
Yes, it will be.
Beat the Florida heat with Duck Air Conditioning. Jacksonville area's AC experts. Repairs to new installations. Trust the Duck to keep your cooling costs low. DuckDuckAC.com.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 12, 2007, Tiger Woods wins his 4th PGA Championship, defending his title up at the Southern Hills Country Club, winning 2 shots ahead of Woody Austin.
Ballou for Shinatri Chiropractic. They've helped me get rid of my headaches and pain in my neck and back. Are you suffering from an auto accident? What about TMJ pain? Headaches associated with jaw clenching, grinding of the teeth, or stress-related disorders? Shinatri Chiropractic has a physical therapist on staff for rehabilitation, quality chiropractic care, dry needling, massage, and acupuncture. Call 743-6700 or go to ShinatriDC.com.
Hacker here with a new opportunity for you. The 20-pound summer slim down with Awaken 180 weight loss. Dropping 20 pounds before summer ends, cruising to your goal of 30, 40, 50-plus pounds down. It's simple. You take the last few weeks of summer, eating, drinking, enjoying the weather, but the difference? You're doing it with the 20-pound summer slim down. But you say, Hack, summer's almost over. Well, that's the point. The pounds melt off fast with Awaken 180. I dropped my first 20 in less time, and that easy 20 propelled me to reach my goal of losing over 85 pounds. Think about it. You're about to slide back into the same old fall routine with the same old mindset. Mix it up. Live up the rest of your summer while dropping the first 20. Then jump into fall with a whole new groove. Yeah, I said it, and you'll be saying it too in just a few weeks. 20-pound summer slim down with the solution for weight loss. Online, Awaken180weightloss.com.
For a chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to the Coke Zero Sugar 400 August 24th at Daytona, answer this question. Who won last year's Coke Zero Sugar 400? Text the driver's last name to 641-1010.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Expert Automotive is ready to keep you cool this summer. Right now, get an AC inspection or a system cooling checkup. Your choice for only $19.99. Their gift to you this summer is $50 off any service and a free tire rotation with any service. Their ASE certified technicians can keep your car cool without breaking the bank this summer. Call them at 374-3373 to get an appointment today. Expert Automotive. They never sell greed, only what you need.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars quarterback Mac Jones is ready for this week's joint practices with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, ahead of Saturday night's second preseason game with them. Here's Jones on the benefits of a joint practice.
Oh, I love joint practice. I think it's super cool. It's something that excited to go against Tampa Bay. It's a good defense. Thinking back for me, I played against them my rookie year, and they have a really exotic defense. So it'll be a good challenge throughout the week, and really just keep working, keep grinding, don't let up. Try and stack a couple more wins.
Being able to practice against new looks on both sides of the football is a great way for players to familiarize themselves with completely different looks they do not get to see when practicing against themselves every day. The joint practices with the Bucs will be a good test of competition. I'm Max Fink with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, text line really burning up. Want to get to you, get some comments from you on what you saw Saturday night. More good than bad, I think we would all agree. Even though it's a preseason game and the win means absolutely nothing, I still, there's a part of me that believes winning is a good thing, even when it doesn't mean anything at all. And Mahomes played 7 plays, and you took the main guys out. I still think it is important, especially after this team lost 5 of 6. It could be so much worse. We could have come in here and said they didn't move the ball at all. They got gashed defensively. I'm more impressed with the depth than I was with the starters, but you had 3 defensive starters out. You had 2 offensive linemen out. You have to take that into consideration as well. As a matter of fact, let's get to Doug Peterson on a couple of these backups, right? DJ Coleman is a guy that they're very high on. And Miles Cole. I mean, Miles Cole is enormous. I interviewed him about 2 weeks ago. He is a beast. He's just underachieved in his career. I think he was Louisiana Monroe before he went over, La Tech before he went over to Texas Tech. And he looks the part, but he's never really done anything in college football. That's why he was such a late draft pick. He performed pretty well this past Saturday night. Here's Doug Peterson on those two.
Yeah, both guys did a nice job. Some things to correct today and tomorrow, but I think overall, you saw DJ, with his physicality. You saw that playing the edge. Miles is still learning. There were some times where he was a little bit slow coming off the ball, but I think as the game and he kind of settled in. He did some nice job. He did some nice things. You can see his athleticism, his ability to run, his strength, and again, young player, but it was encouraging to watch both those guys play.
DJ Coleman was really active last Wednesday. I want to say that was the day, and sometimes these practices all seem to run together for me during training camp, and I love it. But it is somewhat of a mirage. There are times where I clearly feel like I'm out in the middle of the desert and I haven't seen water in like 4 days, and all of a sudden right in front of me is this not an ocean, right? Because you can't drink water out of an ocean, but it's like this Silver Spring, ice blue, beautiful lake, and I'm ready to dive in it and just drink it up, and then all of a sudden there's nothing there. That's the way camp can be, day after day after day after day. When it comes to at least my mind, I won't speak for anyone else, but yeah, last Wednesday he had a really good day as a pass rusher. A guy who's shown some explosiveness, a guy who showed some bend. I remember him blowing right by Cole Van Lanen. Now, again, that's not Walker Little, and I'm going to highlight Little because he's been the best tackle in camp, right? I mean, Anton Harrison's been out. Cam Robinson's been out. Those two have been injured. The best tackle in camp has been Walker Little. Now, Cam came back on Saturday, and he was out there working today. It's good to see the entire offensive line out there today. Ezra Cleveland battling the heel. Cam Robinson battling the shoulder. Morse, Sheriff, and Anton Harrison, if you're joining us here for the first time, now he is completely off of the concussion protocol. He's made his way through, and I watched him today working on some individual drills, and he was also out there during some team drills. So that's really encouraging. And, the expectation is that they're going to go on Wednesday and Thursday, that you're going to see a lot of that with no live tackling, but you're going to see first team against first team, and it's going to be situational football. Doug Peterson talked about the relationship with Todd Bowles and how they're going to do a lot of things that's going to be really intriguing to watch. I don't know what you're going to see Saturday night in the game. Doug Peterson said all along that he wanted the starters to play 2 nights ago, and he's going to want them to play on that Friday in Atlanta. But if you're practicing against them Saturday and Wednesday and Thursday, yeah, I mean, you're starting 22 or starting 24. Reason why I say starting 24, any depth chart you look at, you always see 12 guys, not 11, right? Because they typically put the extra wide receiver in, or the double tight end in, or they, put 3 linebackers in along with nickel coverage. I would sit them out. I teased it at the beginning, or really at the end of last segment, but I thought this was really interesting today. Doug Peterson talking about how he will not tolerate fighting during this practice with Tampa Bay.
I haven't talked to the team yet. I will these next couple of days, but, obviously that's not tolerated. Todd and I, we both obviously respect the game and how we practice against each other, and I know, that, he and I will talk, but at the same time, I understand that you do these with guys that and teams that are respected and they're gonna play hard, practice hard, and we've had great success with them, ourselves the last couple of years. So, I definitely won't tolerate it with our guys. That's for sure.
So there you have it. And if it does happen, I would imagine it's something we won't hear about, right? It'll be a fine, and that would be my understanding. Now, I think it's going to be hard to get through 2 days without something that does happen. I've seen them before, and I don't think it's going to be, to the point where it's the number one story in sports. There was a huge meltdown, brawl, benches clearing. I don't think it's going to be any of that, but I would be shocked if there's not a little something that happens in the ditch. And frankly, I think you want to have something like that happen. I mean, this is man on man. This is moving each other off the football in both directions. So I would expect that we're going to see something like this. I just hope it's not severe, right? I mean, there are people who watch NASCAR for wrecks. There are people who go to hockey games and all they want to see is a fight. I'm not that way with either of the two sports. I don't mind the first period fight. Okay? You never see a fight in a one-goal game or a tie game when you get to the second or third period. You just don't see it. You do see it if it becomes one-sided. If it's a 4-1, 5-1 game, maybe someone's going to try to create a spark for the team that's trailing. And it's really unlike anything else in life, because in this case, it's the loser who wants to fight, right? Every other fight that we see that is sports-related is created by the winner, right? Because we are the worst winners of all. Think about it. You're in the stands. You win a game. You have to take it upon yourself to point at the guy wearing the different jersey and say, yo, you suck. We're the best. You suck. So all the fights in the stands and in the parking lots, they are always started by the winning team. Because instead of just enjoying the victory, again, you got to tell your opponent that they suck. In hockey, it's totally different. That's where the loser is the antagonist. The loser is trying to create a little something, some energy, and fire up his guys on the bench. Think about it. And people think that fights only begin because of women and alcohol. Hell no. Most fights are created by poor winners. Who would have thought? Let's get ready for hour number 2. Dylan Denmark is here. I am the truth teller, Rick Ballou. I am here with you tonight until 8 o'clock.
The station that's not afraid to trade a little paint.
Oh, look out.
This Sunday at Michigan International Speedway. Brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234. From Jacksonville's NASCAR station, 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Do the Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, Garber wiggle.
At Garber Auto Mall, we can wiggle it. Best price, we can wiggle it. Best trade value, we can wiggle it. Best payment, we can wiggle it. Ford, Chevy, Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. With 8 American brands, we can wiggle it. Visit us in Green Cove Springs or online at GarberAutomall.com. And remember, at Garber Auto Mall, there's always a little room for wiggle.
Do the Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, Garber wiggle.
Tropic Fan Fest is on at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. You know what that means. Free smoothies for Tropic Rewards members all week. Monday, free smoothie. Tuesday, free smoothie. Wednesday, another one. Thursday, another one. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you guessed it, more free smoothies with Bowler food purchase. Don't miss a day. Download our app and join Tropic Rewards to get in on the fun. Tropic Fan Fest is now through August 18th at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Terms and conditions apply.
Clearwater. John, I can't even mow my side yard. It's so soggy. Man, my builder sucks.
Brent, calm down. This is a common problem in neighborhoods where houses are built too close together. You need gutters and a properly installed French drain that will soak up subsurface water. We can completely dry it up.
So I can take my builder off my speed dial now, huh?
Yeah, we got you, buddy. Let that builder bitterness go.
Clearwater irrigation and drainage too.
Attention sports fans, are you ready to take your game to the next level? Look no further than Best Bet. You can bet anywhere, but you'll definitely win here. Experience the thrill of sports like never before. With all the major games broadcasting live on our big screens and a menu stacked with your favorite foods and refreshing drinks, you're sure to find your winning ticket. Visit bestbetjacks.com to learn more. That's bestbetjacks.com. Bet anywhere, win here. Only at Best Bet.
Hey, Jacksonville Cougars, it's me, Soccer Sam, for Salvatore's Pizza. Rochester, New York's favorite pizza is now open in Jacksonville, Florida, Tapestry Park at the Loft Hotel Plaza. Daily $10 deals, dine-in with beer and wine, and delivery at salvatores.com. The famous Formoso family brings Salvatore's Pizza, Rochester's favorite pizza, including our 32-piece sheet pizza for your next event. Do it with me, baby. Salvatores.com.
Meet Dennis, talking about his experience with BioTarget regenerative therapy at injury care centers.
My first treatment, I actually felt a great improvement. It actually allowed me to dress myself by increasing the range of motion in my shoulder. I did physical therapy for approximately 8 weeks, and it did not help in increasing the range of motion in my shoulder. I've told many people about the results that I had. I thought it was incredible. I'm very active. I do play a lot of golf, I fish a lot, I hunt, I bowl, and it just made it a lot easier with less pain. The pain is more manageable, yes. I don't take medications.
Stop masking your pain with harmful medications. There's a better solution. BioTarget regenerative therapy has helped countless others, and it can help you too. Call 904-92-REGEN or visit gobiotarget.com today.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here. You've heard me talking about Pella Windows and Doors, and with great ratings and expert reviews, you know they're high quality and energy efficient products. So what's your next step? How about scheduling a free consultation or just stop by the Pella showroom right there on Phillips Highway next to Tesla. Pella's professional consultants will guide you through your entire project from start to finish. From simple projects to complex renovations, their team has the experience needed to make your project a success. And that's the quality and service you can expect from Pella Windows and Doors.
Veterans, did you know VA mortgage rates have plummeted and you can now access up to 100% of your home's equity and turn that into cash right now? Hey, it's Roger Moore, President and CEO of Loan Pronto, announcing our VA Equity Advantage program. This VA offer can get you $50,000, $70,000, $100,000 cash out with no junk fees and no hassle. With APRs in the 5s, you can pay off all those credit cards, personal loans, car loans, and get one easy-to-manage payment. Veterans we help save on average $850 per month. And listen, if you're a veteran with a current mortgage rate over 6.25%, we can do a streamlined refinance with no income verification and no appraisal, saving you hundreds a month. At Loan Pronto, we respect what you've done for our country, and we show it. Call now and ask about our special VA Equity Advantage program. 904-999-1508. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com. 904-999-1508.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS Consumer Access.org.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Roof damage? Call before you claim. Green Law Group, fighting insurance companies for you. They will work for you when you have roof damage. Don't let your insurance deny you. Don't call an adjuster. Call Green Law Group at 904-302-7055. Remember, if you have roof damage, call Green Law Group before you claim. They've settled millions and will work hard to get your claim and new roof. Green Law Group. Call before you claim. 904-302-7055.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The 9478 just said that Breland Speaks sounds like Randy Moss.
You know what he kind of sounded like? Xavier Legette. Like not as country, but a little country in him. You can definitely tell.
Who?
The South Carolina receiver last year that's playing for the Panthers now. You haven't heard him talk?
I don't know if I have. The Legette guy out of Clemson. Where did he play?
South Carolina.
South Carolina. That's it. Yeah. Guy says, sounds like Randy Moss. He goes, you never heard Randy Moss speak? Heck yeah. I've heard Randy Moss speak a million times. Matter of fact, he told me that I did his first ever radio interview with him back in Tallahassee when he came in with Peter Warwick. Everyone always puts Lavernius Coles in that same recruiting class. Lavernius Coles came in as a running back with Vanez Gooch and company. But the receivers were Peter Warwick and Randy Moss. So,
yeah, here's Xavier Legette real quick.
Let's hear it.
No, see, I ain't never had a job for real. I mean, the 2020 with COVID, one of my partners was working at KFC. And I went in there. He kept begging me to cook because I was just chilling at the house. I went in there about 2 weeks and I got on though.
All right. Well, that doesn't sound like Randy Moss.
No, not at all.
No. But one of our listeners thinks that, and hey, we're fine with that. No question about it. We are. Let me get to this before I get back to the Jaguars. I want to give it a couple of minutes with the AP coming out today. Top 25, Georgia, as expected. To me, the one thing I always look at when I pick a national champion is a returning quarterback. I just think it's so incredibly important in the sport of college football. And usually it results in the team who wins a national title. It is because they returned a quarterback. And obviously that was the case last year with J.J. McCarthy at Michigan. So Georgia got 46 first-place votes. They're number one. The Buckeyes, number 15, or number two, they got 15 first-place votes. They changed up their quarterback. Their former quarterbacks at Syracuse, they went to Kansas State and brought in a guy. Oregon, Dylan Gabriel is still playing college football. It's like his 9th year. And the Bo Nix experiment worked. I think he ended up with the most collegiate starts of any quarterback in college football. And now it's Gabriel. Oregon at number 3. So number 2, number 3, they're going to play each other this year. In Columbus, yeah, I know it's hard to believe that Oregon is actually in the Big Ten. Unbelievable. Texas is 4. They're in the SEC. Bama, Ole Miss, number 6. I had a buddy of mine tell me that Mississippi's going to win the national championship this year. Mike Perkins, who works over at the Jags, he was with Lane at, his dad's funeral recently. Monty Perkins way back with the Kiffin family. Are we going to be alive to ever see Mississippi win a national championship? It's Mississippi. They may have a great year, double-digit year. They may be ranked in the top 10. They're not going to win a national title. Notre Dame at 7. Penn State 8. Wow. Aller returns, another returning quarterback. What's his name? Went over to Notre Dame. Riley Leonard. Right? I went to the game last year in Tallahassee where he had the bum ankle. He came in and played. Florida State knocked him right out. It's a good thing, too, because Duke gave Florida State all they wanted. Michigan 9, there it is. Florida State at 10. Florida State, their final scrimmage was Saturday. My understanding is the defense ahead of the offense. They continue to run the football well. It feels like positive remarks are being tossed around about this wide receiving core. And I don't see it. I watched him practice here twice last week. That's petrifying to me right now. The wide receivers. I think Malik Benson is clearly number one. Hakeem Williams can't get on the field. Ja'Kai Douglas is a guy they like. He gets injured. He's in the slot. Those other fifth-year seniors, I just have no confidence in. And then you got the true freshmen, including the 6'4" kid who I watched drop 5 balls in 2 days. And DJ's high. He's high with a lot of balls. They should be able to run the ball. Incredible stable of that. Best offensive line I've seen since their national championship team. And there's depth. Defense, really, really good. I mean, one of the top defenses in college football. You better not dismiss Georgia Tech on opening day. Georgia Tech can run the football. They can move it in the air, and they can certainly move it on the ground with Haynes King. But, trying to get details, it's really weird. Mike Norvell does a nice job with the local media and their access to the program, but it's like certain things you just can't say. Very hard to get details on, the type of afternoon DJ Uiagalelei had. I've read everything that is out there, everything that is available. So we will see. But it feels like when I listen to Alex Atkins, when I listen to Mike Norvell, when I listen to some of the reporters out there, it feels like the message is being sent that it's better than perhaps what you were told. And maybe that's today's way, right? Jimbo would have lit you up. Bobby would have, for the most part, told it as is. But then again, when did Bobby Bowden not have wide receivers? He always had wide receivers. I think that's the Norvell way. I think he's a positive reinforcement coach. And I'm sensing a little bit of that right now. I'm not saying it's a bad way. But I think they're promoting that some great things are going to happen, and they haven't necessarily happened, if that makes any sense. At least when I saw him. I mean, that Elijah Moore kid, no one's given up on him. He's 6'4". He's raw. But he had a ton of drops. And, you hear Ron Dugans, the wide receiver coach, say he gets down on himself. He's an 18-year-old kid getting down on himself. So, Missouri 11, Utah 12, LSU 13, Clemson 14, Tennessee 15. So that's the second ACC team. The ACC comes in at 10 and 15. The SEC, Georgia 1, Oregon 4, Texas 4, Alabama 5, Mississippi 6, Missouri 11, LSU 13, Tennessee 15. So that's what, 6 in the top 15?
I think 7.
Is it 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You are correct. You're a better counter than me. You went to Florida.
I did.
I went to Florida State. Okay, I never was a good counter. 7 of the top 15 schools. How about 8 of the top 16 as we enter Oklahoma? Oklahoma State, Kansas State, Miami. Boy, that's a surprise.
Is it?
I think it is. Miami in the ditch this year, offensive line and defensive line. This is the best that they've been in a very long period of time. And they brought in the top quarterback transfer in Cam Ward in the ACC. They brought in the top running back transfer from the West Coast in the ACC. They brought in arguably the top wide receiver in Samuel Brown, a 5th year. I'm trying to remember where he was. Went to a couple of different schools, but they're raving about him. And they also return Xavier Restrepo and Jacoby George. You look at the preseason Biletnikoff list, there are 8 players mentioned from the Atlantic Coast Conference. Miami has 3 of them.
Dang.
They have 3 wide receivers. They have 1 running back, and they have a quarterback. Here I am trying to brag about Florida State. You don't see Malik Benson or Jalen Brown or any receivers on this list. You don't see Roydell Williams as a running back on this list. You don't see DJ Uiagalelei on this list. Miami got number 1 in all of those spots. And they're better in the offensive line. They're better on the defensive line. So, yeah, Miami coming in at 19, I'm like, whoa.
Doesn't it feel like every offseason there is a traditional power that is always that they try to make them like the offseason darling?
Yeah.
Like it's always like in the past 10 years it's been USC, then it was Nebraska. It feels like this year was Miami. And I think that, there's a lot of hype with Miami, deservedly so, like everything you just said. But I mean, their schedule is not that hard.
No, it's a very easy schedule. Listen, Miami lost 4 of their last 5. They lost to Louisville. They lost at NC State. They lost against Florida State. They lost to Rutgers. So people remember that. They lost 4 of 5, and they had that awful loss to Georgia Tech when they didn't kneel. But if they can knock off Florida on opening day, a 3:30 start, we'll have it for you right here. Look at the schedule after that. Florida A&M, James Colsey now the coach, former Seminole. Had a big pick in the 31-3 Florida. Before you know it, 4 straight touchdowns. What was Danny Warple? He just fired that ball. Picked off by James Colsey. Ball State. At South Florida. Okay, right there in Tampa. Va-Tech, that's a pretty good rivalry. But it's in Miami. Okay? You go way out to Cal. Cal's awful. They're the preseason worst-ranked team in the Atlantic Coast Conference. I tell you what a football game is. At Louisville. Louisville had the best transfer portal class, arguably, of any in college football. All right? That's a tough ball game. Home with Florida State. Home with Duke. At Georgia Tech. Home with Wake. And at Syracuse. I mean, to me, that is, if they beat, and that's a big if with Florida. I mean, that's a 9-3, 10-2 type schedule. And I'm saying that feeling that Florida State beats them and either Florida or Louisville beats them and possibly Virginia Tech gives them a game.
And the over-under for them is 9.5.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
See the same thing.
There you go. 9.5. Yeah, I have people ask me, who do I like in that Florida State, Florida State, Miami? I was like, how can you possibly make an accurate prediction on that game now until you see how these teams are playing? If DJ Uiagalelei completes passes and is accurate and these wide receivers begin to step up, then, hey, there's really a chance. But if not, that could be ugly. I'll tell you right now, and people don't want to hear this, but it's my honest opinion. Over at UNF, I thought the best quarterback was the true freshman, Kromenhoek. I thought he threw the best ball. They rolled him out. This kid looks like he has it. And you don't want to play now. He's 18, right? And Brock Glenn's going to, it's DJ. And hopefully DJ is really, I don't want to say a Band-Aid to the future, because Florida State thinks they can win the Atlantic Coast Conference. Florida State thinks they can get into a college football playoff, okay? And right now I'm a believer in that because they're so nasty in the ditch. And they can run and stop the run. They got an NFL secondary. They're down on depth at linebacker, even though Cam Riley looked good the 2 days that I watched. And obviously their passing offense leaves a tremendous amount to be desired. But I think this Kromenhoek youngster, I think he is without any question their future. And I know that you don't want to hear the future when you're 12 days away from the first game. But it's just the way that I see it. All right, let's wrap up the rest of the top 25. Texas A&M 20, Arizona Kansas, USC, NC State, and Iowa. Noticeably absent off this, Dylan, is a school from a small conference, which we know gets the 5th automatic bid. The top 4 conference champions all get a bye. The 5th conference champion, coming from a small school, does not get a bye, but they're going to be in the 12-team college football playoff. Right now, we do not have a team from any one of those conferences. This is represented, all 25 teams come from the 4 major conferences right now in college football. And I want to say the SEC with A&M in there had 8 in the top 16, 9 out of the top 20 from the SEC. Florida State had 4 in the top 25. Big Ten had quite a few. The Big 12 filled in the remainder of all that. Utah is probably the team to beat right now in the Big 12 in the first year of its existence.
That's another quarterback that's coming back for his 9th year. Cameron Rising. Jeez.
He was questionable every week last year. They didn't
was.
Because Tim Brando, he's with me every week. Tim Brando had like 3 or 4 Utah games. And what's the status on Cameron? He's like, we don't know. He just basically sat out the year. He said, listen, I'm not mortgaging my future. With these new college football rules, I'll just milk it for a year. And that's an interesting story because he's a very good player. I mean, he's one of these guys that, again, if everything comes into in order for him now in the Big 12, I'm going to look at the Utah schedule during the break. We'll come back. We'll get to some more from you. I want to answer your questions as well. There's been a ton that have rolled in tonight. So let me pick some from the text line. 641-1010. That is the best way to get on in. 641-1010. It's brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. There's a new one-stop shop for all things Florida State. Subscribe to 1010XL Seminoles YouTube channel, up-to-the-minute updates, analysis, and more. Plant the spear and subscribe to 1010XL Seminoles channel today.
Febreze. Fabric Talk. Hey, it's me, your couch. Today's my favorite day of the week. Febreze Fabric Spray Day. The occasional deep cleans are nice, but in between, I'm needing a refresh. Ooh, here she comes with the Febreze Fabric Spray. Oh yeah, spritz them armrests. Don't be shy. Nothing like a good spray down to get me smelling so fresh and clean. Don't forget my back. Nice. Febreze Fabric Spray. It's just that easy. Now we can both breathe happy. Febreze. La 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 la.
Injured in an accident? Have mounting medical bills? Can't work? Don't worry. Zach's got your back. I'm Zach Von Rowan of Von Rowan Law. I will fight for the compensation that you deserve. Set up your free consultation at zachsgotyourback.com.
The water heater's broken, disposal doesn't work. Toilet's overflowing, the wife's going berserk. There's water all around me, the faucet sprung a leak. The only way to fix it is to call on Roland Reese, 'cause I got the blues, yeah.
For all your plumbing needs, call on the Bold City's best, Roland Reese Plumbing, and lose the bad plumbing blues.
I got the blues, yeah.
Ballou here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Care you can see.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 12, 2007, Tiger Woods wins his 4th PGA Championship, defending his title up at the Southern Hills Country Club, winning 2 shots ahead of Woody Austin.
For a chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to the Coke Zero Sugar 400 August 24th at Daytona, answer this question. Who won last year's Coke Zero Sugar 400? Text the driver's last name to 641-1010.
Got a cracked windshield? Not only is it dangerous, but did you know it's also illegal? Call Baker Glass. Mack and his crew use the best auto glass in the market, and they accept most insurance. Plus, all new windshields come with a full warranty. From cars, to trucks, to RVs, you can count on Baker Glass to be fast and friendly. Just check out their Google reviews. Come see us at the shop on Casta Avenue, or we can come to you at your home or business.
I'm back with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Googan Nation, it's Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here to tell you this is no dream. The folks at Dreamfinders Homes right now have an unbeatable interest rate for you. You may not think you can afford a Dreamfinders home. Well, think again. Take advantage of a 2.99% year one rate. I said it, 2.99%. 15 Jacksonville communities to choose from. Find that dream house and take advantage of an unbeatable rate. Move now, literally. Dreamfinders Homes, the official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
When pests invade your space, you don't just need them out, you need them out fast. And you need to keep them out. At Terminix, we show up for you and eliminate pests quicker. Because we care about what matters most to you. When pests show up, so do we. Don't live with a pest problem. Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com. Terminix it.
Atlantic Self-Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self-Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving? They can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
Brackish Vodka, the official vodka of UNF Athletics, 100% made in Jacksonville, is available at all local liquor stores. Visit Browdy's, Total Wine, ABC, Shores, Golden, Sahara's, Golden Ox, and more. Drink our gluten-free San Francisco Spirit award-winning vodka and see why it's the smoothest vodka you can buy. When you drink Brackish Vodka, you support all of our local employees and all the money stays in Jacksonville. Drink Brackish Vodka and live life slightly salty. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
When it comes to towing products, your safety on the road is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Whether it's a heavy-duty tow hitch, trailer frame, wiring, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjacks.com to explore a range of products and schedule your installation. Cannons of Jacksonville, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
Expert Automotive is ready to keep you cool this summer. Right now, get an AC inspection or a system cooling checkup. Your choice for only $19.99. Their gift to you this summer is $50 off any service and a free tire rotation with any service. Their ASE certified technicians can keep your car cool without breaking the bank this summer. Call them at 374-3373 to get an appointment today. Expert Automotive. They never sell greed, only what you need.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Got all these buddies getting ready to take off to Ireland. I'm a little bit jealous, but I got to be here for Jaguars Daily, man. I mean, practice, games. I've known that this was going to rear its ugly head, but it's not one of those deals where you just hop on a plane, go cover a game, and come back, right? If you're going to go to Dublin, you're going to want to experience Dublin. You're going to want to be puking on barroom floors, getting tossed out of dives. Just not it. You can't make that a business trip. Hopefully the players will. But anyway, a lot of good stuff happening. We've got on streaming Brian Henry listening out in Newport, New Jersey. So way out in those parts listening to us tonight. It's kind of cool. Get a lot of stuff in every night on the text line and some other places. So there you have it, heading to that part of the country. What do you have over there, Dylan? You got, you're always such a friendly guy. What do you have?
Got a pair of tickets to the game Saturday.
Do you
Jags
really?
Bucks.
Wow.
You want to call me up at 641-1010 with a question. What was it? The 2003 Super Bowl MVP. Who is it?
Tom Brady won the Super Bowl MVP in 2021 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who won the Super Bowl MVP when Tampa won its first Super Bowl in 2003? You give Dylan Denmark the answer, you get 2 tickets for Saturday night. Where else would you rather be? Jacksonville and Tampa. That is coming out. Got a bunch of response on some comments that I made about Florida State. Let me add this comment, okay? Mike Norvell, I hope that this program is now in place where you beat teams that you are supposed to beat. Jimbo never did that. Outside of that incredible win streak when he got Jameis and they won a natty, then they went undefeated before losing to Oregon in the Rose Bowl. Every year with Jimbo, there was a hiccup. There'd be a trip to NC State. You know, they'd have a 13-0 or 16-0 lead, whatever it was with EJ. And Jimbo blew games in-game against teams that they should have knocked off. I want to believe that Mike Norvell is going to beat all of the teams that he is supposed to beat, including Georgia Tech and BC, to begin the year. If that is truly the case, then it becomes a 4-game season. It becomes Clemson. It becomes at Miami. It becomes at Notre Dame. And it becomes Florida. And before you get ready to dismiss Florida, just remember 2 years ago, if you didn't have Jordan Travis, you lose to Florida. Jordan Travis single-handedly won that game. And I still can't believe the official says he didn't score on those touchdowns when his knee was down. Those were bogus calls. But Jordan Travis put on one of the greatest performances a Florida State quarterback has ever put on. And last year, of course, they won with him out. And they won with defense and running the ball. But you can't dismiss Florida. You can't do it. Am I going to pick them over Florida? Yeah, but it's a rivalry game. That's the next step. And I want to believe that that is going to happen. I mean, some of these games are tricky. Georgia Tech, SMU, North Carolina. Okay? They're not gimmies. And, you know, one of my only complaints a year ago with Florida State was they couldn't put teams away. And when you can't put teams away, what does that do? It lessens your experience with your backups. So last year, Florida State, they threw the ball to Bell and Wilson and Coleman. It was enough to win. Many come from behind victories. No one's going to dismiss what they did, winning all of those games. But the problem is not being able to put teams away is you would have liked to have seen these other guys get experience. Now, all of a sudden, the season is here. It's 12 days away. And you're like, who's going to catch the ball? Oh, you know, this guy's doing this. And it's like, you know, Benson's doing this or Malik Benson's doing it. And you're like, okay, well, he's got 3 career receptions. And Jaylen Brown, all right, the guy's never played. And you're relying on Ja'Kai Douglas, who came up huge, absolutely huge in the Pittsburgh one, right? But what did he have last year? 20 receptions? And then you talk about Portier and Williamson and Deuce Spawn. It's like, no, I haven't done it. Pull it up right here real quick for you. And again, is this nitpicking? Sure. But it's what I do. It's what I do. Douglas had 14 receptions last year. He's your leading receiver. 14 receptions. Darian Williamson, 9. Destin Hill, not going to play this year, injured. He was standing next to Hakeem Williams all week, or when they practice here in Tallahassee. Kentron Portier, 6. I watched him drop 3 or 4 balls while he was here. Hakeem Williams, 5. Okay, Deuce Spawn, 1. That's my issue. If you could put these teams away, get up by 14, 21, 24, 28, then you can get these younger guys involved. And they just couldn't do it. Again, no one's going to apologize for them going undefeated until they play Georgia. But there's one thing to struggle and play hard for 60 minutes and find a way to pull one out against Duke and find a way to pull one out against Miami and find a way to pull one out against Pitt. That's different. The Norvell years prior to that, they would have lost a lot of those games. He's taken the next step. He's beating teams you're supposed to beat. But now you'd like to put them away so you can start to groom your younger ball players. Mike Norvell's going to be dealing with a pleasant problem. He's bringing in better players. He's won with 3 stars, man. He's won with transfer guys that, you know, outside of Kean Coleman and Braden Fisk, they weren't worth anything. Jaheim Bell did some things at South Carolina. I say it often, but go back and look at the resume of Trey Benson. Go back and look at the resume of Jared Verse. Go back and look at the resume of Johnny Wilson. Go back and look at them. They did nothing. And players get better under him and his coaching staff. That's the best part of all of this. So now you're going to start to bring in 4-star players. You know, this year wasn't perfect. It was better. Next year is going to be the best recruiting class that Mike Norvell has ever had. Going to start to bring in better players, get better quality players. And yeah, I know some of you like Pagano Lobu, they went on, okay. I admit it. I'm nitpicking here. But I think it's a valid point. I really believe it. And that's disappointing because here you are 12 days away from the start of the season and you just do not know who you can trust at wide receiver on this football team. And you've got a quarterback who completed 57% of his passes. This guy has 40 career starts. You should know really, really early, okay? It's either going to work or it is not going to work for DJ Uiagalelei, okay? I don't need any more of this half-pregnant crap. It either works or it doesn't work for this guy. He has 40 career starts. 40! And I'm sure Dylan Gabriel has about 100, but there's not a lot of quarterbacks in college football, folks, who have 40 career starts. That's what he's bringing with him as far as experience. Let me find more here, just to prove my point. Malik Benson, pardon me, he caught 13 balls last year. Let's see. He's a senior. He's played 1 year, 13 balls, 162 yards. So that's what Malik Benson is giving you. And before we hit the break here, let me give you Jaylen Brown. Did we get a winner to our contest?
We did. Mr. James, the winner, pair of tickets Saturday.
The winner, of course, being Dexter Jackson, safety, Quincy, Mass. By the way, of Florida State. I think he came in the same recruiting class maybe as Dan Kendra, perhaps, if memory serves me correct. Let's see here. Last year for Ryan Thomas Jr. caught 68 balls last year. Malik Neighbors caught 89 balls last year. Who am I looking for? What the hell is his last name? He's not even listed on here. Jaylen Brown that I'm looking for, right? He didn't even catch a ball. He didn't even catch a ball last year. So let me look at 2022, see if he caught a ball in 2022. I thought he was a redshirt freshman, Jaylen Brown. You didn't catch a ball. Yeah, so, there you go. I mean, those are the two that everyone's like, whoa, that's going to... The guy's never caught a ball. And Malik Benson's caught 13 in 4 years. So, they're unproven. That is what you're going to have to fix. That is what... And you know what? You got to put Toafili on the field. You want to line up Roydell Williams as your one back? Fine. I think Williams is their best back. I think he'll be their bell cow. Well, you better have a two-back set and put Toafili in motion, or put Jalen Lucas in motion, or better yet, just take Toafili and line him up in the slot instead of mixing and matching with all of these unproven wide receivers. Toafili caught what? 20-some-odd balls last year. He's actually the returning receiver if you were to look at running backs. That is the leading receiver, not a receiver. It's a back. Toafili's a phenomenal player. Find a way to get him the ball. Find a way to get Jalen Lucas the ball. Find a way to get your best players the ball. It's a big year for the chess match for Mike Norvell to diagram schematically ways for this to happen. I want to tell you something right now. You're going to be frustrated if all of a sudden you hear Uiagalelei at shotgun, Portier to the left of him, Williamson to the right. You just can't trust it. All right, enough of that. Let's come back, talk more on the Jags. Take you up until 8 o'clock if you want to respond. Love to hear from you. 641-1010, best way to get on in. Brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
The home of the home team you grew up with.
Well, Fred Taylor is the whole package. Fred Taylor, every time he touches it, he's a candidate to go the distance.
Jaguars, pride forever. 1010XL.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation. Light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Does the building you go to work in every day need a little love and attention? Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Great companies take great care of the buildings their staff and customers walk into every day. If the building you're in doesn't match the vision you have for your company, we can help. Go to performance-painting.com. Our highly trained team makes the difference. Quality coatings applied with pride.
Performance Painting. Have you or someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI and all criminal offenses. I've been named the best DUI attorney in the state, and David has been named the best criminal defense lawyer in Jacksonville. In your battle with the justice system, there is only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645.
Certainly facing challenging economic times. I can't speak for all of us, but for me, comforting to know my money is in good hands with ITP Partners. Ticket here for ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. I'll admit it, I don't understand a ton about the economy. Higher interest rates, 401ks, but I do know as I move closer to retirement, I continue to watch my money grow. Thanks to Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, and Reed Wingate. Get in the game, guys. ITP Partners, always there to help. For more info, Chris at ITPPartners.com or call 904-312-9751.
Training camp is about the basics.
Focus on the fundamentals.
Every time something you need to know happens at training camp, you'll hear about it on 1010XL. Brought to you by Kingfish Pest Control and Roland Reach Plumbing.
Lauren Brooks here. Circa Resort and Casino has an incredible all-in package for Duval in December. For only $500 tax and resort fee included, get a 3-night stay at Circa, $200 food and beverage credit, plus a day bed at Stadium Swim. With 6 temperature-controlled pools and a massive screen, it's the world's largest hot tub party. Join us Heels Friday night for a Jacksonville pep rally with specials and giveaways. To book the Jacksonville game day getaway and join the Heels in Vegas, visit circalasvegas.com today.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem? problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about letting things roll off of your back. So often we can make big deals out of things that are not really big deals. We can allow them to steal the joy of our day. But let me remind you that don't allow anyone or anything to steal the joy of today. Go out today not letting little things steal the big things that God has in store for you.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
Hey, it's Tony from Tony D's Pizza. If you love our pizza and pasta dishes, let us cater an event for you. Family function or office parties, we can deliver you an amazing Italian meal. Remember, it's not just pizza at Tony D's. Bay Meadows in $2.95.
This is Hayes Carline for SkyLife Elite. Are you tired of canceled flights, unruly passengers, and layovers? Call my friends at SkyLife Elite. Consider using private charter flights for your next adventure. Yes, you can afford it. Make your own schedule. Fly direct. Drive your car to Craig Airport and get directly on the plane. SkyLife Elite can make that happen. Call 490-9332. Go to flyskylife.com and find them on social media. Fly SkyLife Elite, North Florida's premier private air charter.
Time now for a medical recap. A health and wellness tip from Jaguars head team physician Dr. Kevin Kaplan.
Regular movement is key to so many health benefits. Aim for at least 10,000 steps a day. Decide to only take the stairs if you're walking less than 6th floor. Never park in the first 10 spaces of the parking lot. Walk during your work breaks. Get up 10 minutes earlier in the morning and take a short, brisk walk before the chaos of the day starts. There are so many easy ways to stay active. Let's get moving, Jacksonville.
Mia here, get it all when you shop Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Just listen to this. Over 275 SUVs, over 200 cars, over 100 pickups, over 50 luxury vehicles. That's over 600 vehicles, and they're all in one location. Arlington Pre-Owned even has 125 vehicles under $18,000. Plus, you get Arlington's 60-day exchange program and financing help from their Credit for Everyone program. Shop online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
Tired of changing out bad sod year after year? Get it done right with Roundtree Sod. Big or small, they have it, and always supplied farm fresh. For a lush, legendary green lawn, call 7414-SOD for a free estimate. 7414-SOD.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, happy birthday to Mark Knopfler, 75 years of age. Finally elected into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't know, was that maybe 3-4 years ago? So, saw him out in St. Aug probably 5 years ago. Didn't play a ton of Dire Straits songs. He did play this. But certainly, his style of music, there aren't a lot like it. It's a different sound, a very cool sound if you're a Dire Straits fan. Mid-'80s, certainly into the 90s. Let's get back to Doug Peterson. The return of Tashawn Gibson is intriguing to me. Here's what the head coach had to say earlier today.
When you think about Dewey's situation and Tashawn's situation, they're very similar because they'll probably miss about the same time. And I'm saying that to say, obviously, Tashawn making the 53 and, things of that nature at the end of camp. But for us, too, it's a veteran player that we're familiar with, who gives us more depth, gives us an opportunity at safety that right now, kind of fills a spot. We've got some young safeties that are playing well, and Savage, right now is not cleared for contact yet as much, but so just gives you another veteran body, and some competition, and looking forward to getting them out there.
Darnell Savage had a pick today. Trevor Lawrence threw a fastball to Tank, And I had an obscured view from they moved inside the Miller Electric Center, but my belief is it hit his hands, then helmet popped up, and Savage came down with it. This is fascinating to me because I think it tells a story. Now, it could be nothing more than a safety precaution. Get another body in here. We know he's out for the first 6 weeks, but we learned today that Dewey's out for right around the same amount of time. Did not know that. I've been under the impression that Dewey was going to hopefully be ready by the start of camp, by the start of the regular season. Of course, he went down. I think it was on the 5th or 6th play, the day they put pads on. And, okay, this is my mind. But I'm under the belief that Dewey's not a guy you want in at safety anyway. When you're talking about being in coverage, if you're going up against a rushing team, fine. He can be a third safety, but if you have him in your secondary against a team that passes the football, no. And I feel the same way about Daniel Thomas. So what's going on? You know, Savage is your nickel. I still think Savage, when it's all said and done, could be the safety with Cisco and Antonio Johnson. And it's basically, you know, Cisco's always in. It becomes a two-man rotation with Antonio and with Savage. And I'm saying this with the understanding that the combination of Christian Braswell and Jarian Jones is going to be your starting nickelback. Terrell Edmonds had a really good game on Saturday night. Eric Hallett is a guy that I think they believe can play safety and play nickel. Josh Proctor is an undrafted free agent. Adrian Amos is a guy who's had a ton of experience in this league, including playing with Darnell Savage in Green Bay. They just brought him in. So all of a sudden, you look at the safety position, and yeah, the lack of depth is absolutely a part of this. And bringing in Gibson, to me, does say something, that they're aware of that and they're preparing to have him around in week 7 if things are really not good, or it could just simply be a safety valve and see what does take place. But that is absolutely, to me, an interesting signing, and it could mean more than what we think right now.
Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
Day 14 of training camp today. Jacksonville back out. The weather, unfortunately, rolled in to the city. And after an hour plus outside in what was the hottest day of training camp, they were forced to move inside the Miller Electric Center. It was basically a day filled of individual work. All right, not everything at full speed, no pads on today. Of course, they played that game late on Saturday night, and I thought today was a day to just work on things individually. There was some teamwork. For the most part, it was red zone, and we had some 7-on-7, and we had some 11-on-11. But overall, a good start to the week, and they did it in the dead heat. It began at 12:30. It went to 2:30, and again, I would guess probably around 1:30, 1:45 or so, they were forced to move inside, which is a lot cooler than the just brutal heat that they were dealing with outside. All right, the best thing that came out of the game on Saturday for Jacksonville, they got out of it injury-free for the most part. And you got to love that. Minor injury to Evan Ingram, limited today with his shoulder. Foye Oluokun, the tight hamstring, didn't work. But that's basically it. Okay, we did see the return of Anton Harrison today. He's out of the concussion protocol and worked. Also, Ezra Cleveland worked today with his heel. So it was good to see that starting offensive line intact. The first time that we had seen that in a while. Tyson Campbell, who rolled his ankle either Friday or Saturday, didn't play in the game. Limited today, but he was out there. And it sounds encouraging, at least on this Monday, as to his availability coming up on Saturday night against Tampa Bay. And finally, Eric Armstead. All right. A lot said about him with Doug Peterson during his Monday morning press conference. And the feeling is not this week. And it would be kind of cool to see him work against Tampa both Wednesday and Thursday. But, I understand the feeling here. He is a veteran who has a tremendous amount of experience. Feels like there is a chance he could play next Friday night when Jacksonville plays its only road preseason game of the year. That, of course, will be in Atlanta on Friday.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Injury Care Centers, the exclusive provider of BioTarget regenerative therapy for pain. Visit GoBioTarget.com for a location near you.
Hacker Nation is up, getting ready to roll into this Monday night. Hot outside today.
It was. We had the code blue for weather in the area, so all the fans had to leave the Miller Electric Center, but that means we got to go inside to the indoor in the air conditioning, which was kind of welcomed at that point of practice.
Mm-hmm. I don't think anyone complained about that.
No. It was hot, and it would be, and they got to do some of these practices in the afternoon. I mean, September 8th, Miami, Florida, that's coming, and it's going to be a sauna down there. September 15th here against Cleveland, same thing. So as much as you want to get work in the morning to not have the heat as big a factor, it is going to be a pretty big factor the first couple games of the year for the Jaguars.
Jacksonville deeper than maybe we believed based on what you saw on Saturday?
I asked Doug Peterson about this in the press conference. I thought they were a deep team. It's the deepest team I believe Trent Baalke has had in the 4 years that he's been the GM here. But you're right. They are a deep football team. I mean, those first-string guys left. The second-string guys were fantastic. I mean, when you're legitimately playing Luke Fortner and Tyler Shatley and Cooper Hodges mid to late third quarter of preseason game number 1, I mean, you're playing the edge guys that are getting after the opposing quarterback that late in the game. I was very, very pleased with what I saw from the depth of this football
even a
team.
guy who would have been a starter if the game was Saturday night, Walker Little, starting at the left tackle, starting at the right tackle position for Anton, got a lot of burn in the second quarter playing the left tackle.
Yeah, I mean, I've said all along, and I think you agree with this, O-line, wide receiver, D-line, secondary, those 4 in particular, they're going to cut guys that people know. They're going to cut guys that have played regular season games here, and that's a good thing. I mean, it stinks you got to cut guys, but there's so much competition on the back end of the roster. I think some people might be a little surprised some of the names that get let go in a couple of weeks.
What's coming up?
My training camp one-on-one tonight, Rick, is with Dearness Johnson. He had the most all-purpose yards on Saturday. Great game for Dearness on Saturday night. So we'll talk with him and get ready for that Tampa joint practice on Wednesday and Thursday. Also, a little Monday night coaching with Campo. Our guy Dave Campo joins me at about 8:20 this evening.
All right. Always a lot of fun there with Coach. Enjoyed sitting next to him. And that defensive substitution in the first half, my goodness, man. Dave and I were going back and forth. I mean, they substituted 5 players on one play.
I heard you ask Peterson. It was like a hockey change.
5 defensive it was the 4th play of the game.
Yeah,
Hacker.
I love it.
I do too. I mean, it speaks volumes of what they believe they have as far as depth right now. So that was very encouraging. Have a good time tonight.
Thanks, buddy.
That's going to do it. I'll be out there early tomorrow morning. Again, it's a morning practice on Tuesday after going 12:30 to 2:30 today. So you're just going to see what things are like tomorrow with 2 very physical and important practices coming up Wednesday and Thursday against Tampa Bay. So that is what is on the docket for this week. That's going to do it for us. Thank you to Breland Speaks, defensive end on the Jaguars, and thank you to Dylan Denmark. I am Rick Ballou. I'll talk with you tomorrow at 6 o'clock.